there are no vegan rapists in the prisons of the world. You go find me a vegan rapist. I'd love to hear about a story. I'll show you prisons around the world full of meat, dairy, and egg-eating rapists and child molesters and murderers and people that rob and steal. In fact, I'll even take it a step further when we talk about health. Go find me a hospital with a bunch of sick vegans in it. I'll show you hospitals full of people with heart disease, cancers, diabetes, osteoporosis, kidney problems, etc., all stemming from animal protein, the main cause of every major disease on this planet.
Welcome to the Cannabis Vegan. I'm Jason Logic. On today's show, we're going to be looking at the Cannabis Vegan raw juicing and its shocking results all across the board, as well as diving a bit deeper into Dr. William Courtney's Leafs movie in this two-part series. This and more from the Cannabis Vegan.
You have clothes on, and I notice that you have a cell phone and you have a computer. It is unfair to pick one thing that lions do that you want to mimic when you don't want to mimic anything else they do. When lions walk up and greet each other, they sniff each other's ass. When I came in this room, you did not kneel down and sniff my ass.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Cannabis Vegan. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right on in. The Shinnecock Nation okays developing in the medical cannabis program. Now, for a lot of people that are Native or American Native or any of this, I do want to encourage you guys to really push those limitations with being able to get your homeland and your tribe and your area to be able to have this Cannabis Vegan in your life. And I also want to mention to you guys as well, with so much progressing and so many things changing down the pipeline, I would really encourage you guys to understand that you guys accepted that cannabis is medicine, and you need to also accept too that Cannabis Vegan full spectrum plant-based diet is the full spectrum that you need. And killing animals is not peace on this earth. So I do encourage you guys to do your research to understand that even though it's been tradition for many years, and I myself am a native, to be specific, I am Blackfoot Native, or Blackfeet, as many people know. Now, I also want to encourage you guys to understand too that just because something has been going on for a while doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't mean that that's what needs to continue. Cannabis Vegan and a full spectrum plant-based diet will give you everything that you need. And when you guys look in the past, you can clearly see that diet has played largely into whether or not a tribe or a nation goes further in the future. Alright guys, for more on this, go to 420intel.com. Moving on to our next story here. This is the one that I've been really waiting to reveal to you guys. It has not been out all that long. As of 2/15 it came out, but there's a lot of research that I have done. There's a lot of research well before this ever came out. But I do want to give light to this specific article showing the shocking results that a woman has replaced 40 medicines with raw cannabis juice. Now, the only thing that she's probably missing from that full spectrum would be a Cannabis Vegan raw juice and diet. Well, maybe one day she'll think about this, and if not, others should take note, because healing is right around the corner. As we can clearly look through this article, just a few months ago, a woman made the medical headlines with her replacement of amazing amounts of prescriptions. Like a lot of Americans and a lot of people all over the world, they have a prescription epidemic. And as we see that cannabis has been proven to reinforce the immune system, to improve the overall health, no matter if it's smoking the cannabis, which I don't really condone, so I'm just going to guys let you know that right now. I don't smoke myself. I only vaporize, and I only use tinctures. I encourage you guys to do your research and make your own tinctures and vaporize yourself. But anyways, this also helps with people that even smoke cannabis or that they eat it. No matter how they consume it, there's always a very high success rate. However, people that have Dravet syndrome or other types of seizures, Alzheimer's, the list just goes on. I can name them all. I almost can't even name anything out there. But if they would all go on a cannabis vegan, full spectrum, plant-based diet, they not only would see a miraculous change, but they would have tons and tons and tons of amazing friends and sentient beings that are going to be alive just by you choosing to go cannabis vegan. That saves this whole world. So guys, I encourage you guys to go to this, come here, do your research, 420intel.com. Alright, moving on to our next one. Comes to us again from 420intel.com. The report comes down the pipeline that all cannabis use is medical, whether you know it or not. Now, I've been telling this for roughly about 22 years. I've been saying this to all my friends, all my family members, anybody I meet on the street, anytime, anywhere. I ask them, probably within the first couple of minutes of talking to somebody, why is it that they use cannabis? And how does cannabis help them? And what strains would be most beneficial for their symptoms that they might not know or that they do know? And it goes into a lot of interesting facts, but a lot of them will just say, oh, well, I just do it for a good time, you know, or just a hard day's work. And then I have to remind them that after a hard day's work sounds a whole lot like taking some wine or some Prozac or taking something to relieve yourself to feel better because you're in a state in which you need relieving, or you just need that zen, or your mind needs it more than your body. And of course they would answer back and say things like, well, yeah, actually that is true. Well, maybe I do use it for medical reasons. I haven't really met a person yet, guys, that really isn't using it for medical purposes. Because, in fact, just being a part of cannabis veganism in itself, you've already chosen to say, yes, we cannabis. All you're really missing is, yes, we cannabis vegan. Thank you, guys. For more on this, go to 420intel.com. Our next one here, again, coming from 420intel.com. 15 diseases and elements that cannabis may help fight. Now, when I hear may fight, I hear more like is going to fight, is fighting, and has already solved so many cases. If you read on through this article, there's a lot of things to read through, and I'm not going to read every little bit through this, but I'm going to come through this one paragraph here that really caught my eye. But before I go into that, you know, having this synergy of cannabis and having veganism is a no-brainer that just by going on a plant-based diet, rather you're wanting to go healthy with, let's say partying, okay? There's a lot of partying that goes on out there. People are having a good time, but they choose an unhealthy way to party. And if I told them that they could go vegan with their partying, you could choose a vegan lifestyle, in fact, a cannabis vegan lifestyle that is 5 times healthier for you, your family, the planet, and this entire existence. And, you know, that's when people really scratch their head and kind of wonder maybe why they haven't done it before. So, as you can clearly see how cannabis has helped so many diseases. Cannabis has just had success to fight, well, everything. I mean, honestly, I can't find one thing that it hasn't honestly helped. So as we scroll down here, I'm not going to read through every single one, but as you can see, just right off the bat, the first one is going to be things like epilepsy, Dravet syndrome, just all kinds of things like that, which I have that in my own self. Those are one of my own issues that I have to have cannabis for. That isn't the full reason, but that's a huge reason. I have to have CBD, a high strain of CBD, and I've been finding many strains in my life to grow, to produce, to breed, and to really further into this research that we call life. In fact, the cannabis vegan life. And as we look further through this list here, you can clearly see that there's so many elements. I mean, we're only on number 5 is what I can see here. Type 2 diabetes. I mean, type 2 diabetes medication out there can't even do any of these 2 things right here, okay? It does none of that, let alone it's going to do anything for seizures. In fact, it actually, one of the inserts says it could give you a seizure and to consult your doctor. See, that's the weirdest thing ever for people to really discover, that within these first 5 elements of cannabis, you can clearly see that all we're missing is the cannabis veganism to fully give you that full spectrum, full plant-based diet that you really need. As we go through even further down the road, I mean, as we clearly look at 6 and 7, I mean, obviously, we're talking about devastating elements that people have, people with AIDS, people with depression, people with pain. I'm another one that suffers from massive amount of head pain, traumatic amount of head pain, excruciating amounts of head pain, to the point that some days I can't even come outside, think, or come out of my own room. I have to have a home cover over my head for a little while, maybe even possibly for 2 days. It's happened a few times, and it's no fun. Okay? So when we're talking about the cannabis veganism, we're talking about a true life realism. And now that I am on a full spectrum cannabis veganism, I can tell you right now, that has gone to having some to having none. So I encourage you guys to do your research, and for more on this, go to 420intel.com, as well as tune in for more from the Cannabis Vegan. Now as we scroll down, wait, real quick, number 9 here. Organ transplant? I mean, come on. I mean, obviously, if somebody's having an organ transplant rejection, that in itself is just crazy. And on top of that, to even say that cannabis can even dip into that area and or completely help? Wow. Once again, it's been an amazing adventure. I mean, just look. How about this? The researchers from the University of Southern California of the medical industry obviously can clearly see that not only that delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol cannabinol can help solve and prevent a lot of these operations, but even if you have these operations with an awesome amount of potent, clean, vegan, cannabis vegan grown medicine, you can clearly have that degree of, well, wellness. That's amazing. Number 10. Now here's really what my focus was going to be on, okay? Alzheimer's disease and the brain cancer, as well as so many more. I mean, number 15 in itself is actually amazing, but anyways, I'll stick to this number 10 here and number 11. Now, a lot of people I know in my own family, friends, and people around me all are having these symptoms. I mean, and I noticed that none of these people are on a vegan diet, let alone a cannabis vegan diet, okay? And those that even try cannabis, if they have Alzheimer's disease, no matter what really stage that they're really at, as soon as they start trying it, obviously there is a hope. There's recovery, and there is a lot more going on instead of taking these deadly, dangerous, and given to animals all around the world, pharmaceuticals. So as we further into the cannabisicals, if you will, or the cannabis veganism, if you will, we can clearly see that brain cancer even has a hard time even being present when you have high amounts of CBD and THC, and along with other things like THCV CBGA, CBC. You know, there's a lot of different things out there, and even a high grades amount of CBN as well. Again, guys, do your research and become the Cannabis Vegan. Because it's not just me that is a Cannabis Vegan, it is this whole entire world, including people like Bubble Man, an incredible man himself. Mark, you do an amazing job out there. I love you, man. Honestly, continue the fight, and I can't wait to see you further down the road from the Cannabis Vegan and Bubble Man's world. Well, guys, as we can clearly see, the last couple of ones here, glaucoma. I mean, again, we've already went through a full spectrum now. Number 14, going on glaucoma. Wow. Absolutely wow. Inflammatory bowel disease for number 15. I mean, obviously the list can continue and continue and continue and continue. We will move on. For more on this, go to 420intel.com. Alright, guys. I really wanted to give you guys a little bit more. Obviously, we just can't get enough of 420intel.com. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot is coming down the pipeline. And it just helps to have other people help backing it up, as I have been putting so much research out there, as I myself have to have cannabis for a specific type of brain injury. And it is life or death for me. Okay, guys? So as we can continue here, as we can clearly see that cannabis may boost brain performance, no, is going to, does, and will, as long as you can get it into your cannabinoid system. And that is where we need to go with this, guys. We need to flood your cannabinoids all the time. But as we continue again, I mean, I don't even have to scroll down past the first paragraph, and I already see, while developments in all kinds of different cannabinoids are being available, I really see that even with the effects of Alzheimer's, once again, here we go, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and Huntington's disease, I mean, there's so much help and hope out there, guys. Let's continue the fight for this, please. Now, as we can clearly look down, too, as you look through, like, the fourth paragraph, I believe it's down here, you can clearly see that when we look at cannabis in the whole industry itself, everywhere around the world, including Colorado's Green Lab, you know, they clearly have so much research happening. So many people are being able to have this help, but it is still far from being to you, the listeners. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you right now are probably scratching your head thinking, wow, this is just right there, but yet so still far away. And again, guys, being able to be part of the Cannabis Vegan, that already is pushing the limitations everywhere around the world. So a boy and girl, a man or wife, anybody around the world can have this for their health, their family, their friends, and this whole world. For more on this, guys, go to 420intel.com. Alright, this is what really caught my eye. I had some friends a little while back telling me that cannabis can't be utilized for health reasons, and they wouldn't use it for workout reasons. That wouldn't be a very good idea. They wouldn't go smoke a cigarette or go drink a beer and then go work out. And I told them, no. See, unlike anything else in existence, cannabis veganism has the total full spectrum. So you're not going to have to worry about things like that. I don't encourage smoking cannabis before you go and work out. I would encourage vaporizing it and using tinctures before you go and work out, of course. However, if you choose to, it's still not going to bring any harm to you, and it's still going to improve your workout. So more and more facts have been coming out. I've been telling people about it all the time. So as you can clearly see, we have another one from 420intel.com about how cannabis improves your workout. Now, a lot of people are still going to have that question that how necessarily is cannabis and how much of cannabis am I going to have to utilize for it to be useful, or others are going to say, oh, I've done that before and it hindered my workout. Again, guys, it depends on the type of strain. It depends on the type of elements that you have wrong with you, first off. And then it also depends on whether it's good, clean, cannabis vegan medicine. That is the biggest main factor right there. And then, of course, how much potency? How much are you dosing with? I mean, you wouldn't go dose yourself too much and then go do something silly or something like that. Just like you wouldn't dose yourself too little and expect some miraculous amount to happen to you when you barely did anything. So you do have to find your own doses, guys. I encourage you to look further into this and really do your research. Get back to me, comment down below, really let me know what's going on, and share with your family and your friends. Please, guys. I encourage you guys. But before I get off this last article and we move on to one of my most favorite ones, the cannabis vegan juicing, I really want to show you that itself with a lot of the long-term uses and treatments for migraines, lupus, fibromyalgia. I mean, again, I can go on and on and on. Fractions, dislocation, all kinds of different things, right? We obviously see long-term effects have had great healing effects all over the board. So I really want you guys to do your research, and if you have a friend or family member that maybe is not comfortable with maybe vaporizing or using as a tincture, maybe look into topicals as well. And there's a lot of sublingual topicals that you could use on your outside and your inside. You know, and I have a lot of development research down the road that you'll be able to utilize all of it in one. You'll be able to even dab mine if you choose to not want to rub it in, or maybe do it all. Rub it in and eat it and dab it all at the same time. Whatever you want to do. And that will be coming down the road, guys. It will. Well, anyways, if you guys want to learn more about this article, please go to 420intel.com. All right, jumping on over to this amazing juicing cannabis and the potential health benefits that is treating everybody. And not only that we can treat, but now we can consider that cannabis is a vegetable. If you guys want to see this article, please go to medicaljane.com. So as we look further through this article here, you can clearly see that so many people have tried understanding what cannabis veganism really is about. Now, I've been looking to put together a lot of different research together. Well, there's a lot of research already available, as a lot of doctors have already pushed that limitations. And believe it or not, guys, I'm going to be showing you in this video the first portion of the second two-part portion of the Cannabis Vegan juicing program here. So it's going to continue. So as we look further through this, this article really shows the potential of what juicing cannabis looks like and what it's done for a lot of other people all over the world, including in Southern California, in Canada, in New York, everywhere. It's been all over the globe, really, and it's just now really being shown, but it's nothing really new. And I stress you guys right now, if you have the ability to go in your kitchen right this moment and go juice some cannabis, I encourage you guys, do it. Become the next step in the cannabis vegan revolution. Okay, guys? Please, step it up. But as we look further through this article, Dr. William Courtney has showed so much on this specific raw juicing performance, if you will, of cannabinoids in your body. And the health benefits of juicing cannabis are just extraordinary every time that anyone is a part of it. Just like anytime you juice any fruit or vegetables. If you're already a vegan, I'm sure you're already thinking to yourself, wow, this is interesting. If you're a big time cannabis user and you're maybe thinking about wanting to be super healthy but always want to have incorporation with cannabis, again, guys, cannabis veganism is going to be that window to opening up all of these doors for your friends, for your families, for your brothers, your sisters, for your own babies and children's. Again, guys, do your research. And more will be coming from me, the Cannabis Vegan, down the road, okay? And again, I encourage you to really do your research. Don't be afraid of what doctors are saying, because again, who knows best than you? Once you know and you do the research and you see it for yourself, it's like anything. You know better when someone's telling you a lie. So again, do your research, guys. Do your research. For more on this article, please go down below, go down to medicaljane.com and do your research with it, please. Tips, suggestions, juicing for cannabis, it's all there. And more will be coming from me as well, and recipes as well, okay? Thank you, guys. More to come. from the Cannabis Vegan.
Whoa! Now that definitely appears to be something interesting. Yes. I've seen something like this before. Yes, it's a superconductor. Yes, and there's something here on the wall, and I believe it's the key.
Turns out that it is the key.
Imagine a world we could live in, planting seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow our solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in, planting seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow our solution. Hemp can save the world.
You put a 2-year-old child in a crib with a bunny rabbit and an apple? Let me know when the child eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple.
Next time on Cannabis Vegan, we're going to be diving a bit deeper and looking more into the raw cannabis juice amazingness as we get the interview of the woman that has gotten off all pharmaceuticals, as well as diving a bit deeper into William Courtney's research and movie, Leaf. This and more from the Cannabis Vegan.
I notice you have clothes on, and I notice that you have a cell phone and you have a computer. It is unfair to pick one thing that lions do that you want to mimic when you don't want to mimic anything else they do. When lions walk up and greet each other, they sniff each other's ass. When I came in this room, you did not kneel down and sniff my ass.